You know when you've had a job to do and you just keep putting it off and putting it off, and then it just gets scary to do because you just feel overwhelmed, and starting a new project can be really hard. Every day I give myself some excuse of something else to do so that I don't have to start this thing. But here we are today, facing our fears, starting the project. So basically I'm building like a 12 by 20 foot building. It's basically the size of a shed, but a little bit bigger. It snows so much here in the wintertime, and so basically I'm just stuck in the tiny house, which can make me go a little bit crazy. So it'll be really nice this winter. I'll have like a little separate building. It's not gonna be big, of course, but just like something separate to do like weaving in and just different things. Right now I am just leveling these pier blocks. The colors of the mountains right now, they look kind of hazy and purple and green. It's just my favorite colors in the world. This morning is really nice. I'm walking down to the river. I am going to get my life together a little bit here. I've kind of neglected the way that I look. So a couple days ago, I was running around in the forest and I just got all this pitch in my hair. So my hair has just been like tangled mess covered in pitch for the past couple days, and I'm gonna try to get it out. I read that you can use oil to get it out, so we'll see if that works. I have a couple different kinds of oil I'm gonna try and use. La, 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 la. Pitch is just like the most annoying thing ever. I don't want too much here. Kind of feels like this one's working. Oh, this one's actually working really well. Okay, so castor oil works in hair with pitch, if any of you are wondering. Oh, that was like a lot easier than I expected. I just like left it in there and it was just, this like whole mound was just covered in pitch. Next thing I'm gonna do is cut my hair. I probably haven't cut my hair in like 2 years now. Could be longer actually. So I'm gonna do that. Not a lot, just trimming it. Just cutting all these ugly ends off. It's gonna be so uneven. I don't even care at this point. I'm just done. So we've got about 2 more pier blocks to do. It's taken like 4 days to get to this point because the ground was just so not level, and there's like this much organic matter underneath the grasses that we had to like dig away, and it's just been so incredibly hard. Will you do this? I can't get in here.
Absolutely, let's do it.
I thought that I had a big zucchini before, but let me tell you, I think this is the biggest thing I have ever seen. Oh my, look at this size. Oh my gosh. What do you think, Kitty? Is it big? Whatever, fuck you. So basically I have this 4x4 here to raise up the 4x6s so that they're the same level as the beams over there. And then how I'm gonna connect it all is just put this plate here and nail it in. Amazing. I'm also using these little 90-degree angle connector things to connect the 4x4s to the post. I honestly have no idea if what I'm doing is right. I've never actually really built a like house foundation before. I'm just kind of guessing on these. I mean, it seems like this is what you would want to use to like keep it stable. I think so what ended up happening is the groundwork turned out to be extremely difficult. The land I decided to build on was very uneven, and there was hundreds of rocks in the way when we tried to dig down to make space for the pier block. I've also never really built a foundation for a building before. When I built the tiny house, I put it on a trailer, so there was sort of already a foundation. An entire week went by of struggling every day to get all the beams level and the joists in, and I really had no time for anything else. It felt a little discouraging because of how much time went into what was supposed to be a pretty simple part of the build. After that, I decided that I really needed to organize myself a little bit better and really plan the materials and steps I was going to take to build this thing. The whole structure is 20 by 12 with a 10-foot walls and a 6-foot roof pitch. I started with calculating the plywood I needed. The floor is 20 by 12, so 240 square feet divided by 32 square feet, which is the standard size of plywood, so I need 7.5 sheets for the floor, 12.5 sheets for the front and back walls, and 7.5 sheets for the other walls, which is 20 sheets total. I also need to calculate the length of the roof rafters. I squared half the length of the 12-foot wall and added the pitch height, and then took the square root of that to get 7.8 feet. So with an overhang, I would need 10-foot rafters, and then figured that I would need 32 total. The rest of the calculations were pretty simple, but then I ran into my next problem, which was getting the wood. My car isn't big enough to haul large amounts of wood, and taking multiple trips would be a big waste of time and gas. I decided to rent a U-Haul and convince Logan to help me drive it because I was really scared. I've never rented a U-Haul before. It took quite a while to load all the wood into the U-Haul. For a seemingly small shed, it felt like a ton of wood. And then once we got back home, unloading it was also a whole other task. These days of summer have been really smoky from all the nearby wildfires. The heat gets trapped from the smoke and the days just feel incredibly hot. It can be kind of a challenge to get work done in such heat, so usually I'll wake up pretty early and work until the afternoon heat becomes too unbearable. It's nice to spend the afternoons down by the river where it's cooler. I've spent a lot of time this summer laying in the grasses. The elderberries are beginning to bloom. And honestly, the summer just makes me feel so free and alive. So incredibly gorgeous out this morning. Oh my gosh. Wow. I love being awake in the darkness. Oh, it's just the best feeling in the world. It's probably like 4 a.m. But the air is finally cold. I love it. I think I'm gonna go for a swim. Summer mornings early are seriously the best moments of time. Just so much beauty. So I've had these clothes soaking for about 24 hours now. Hand washing clothes is actually a lot better for your clothes. It makes them last longer. And it's kind of fun sometimes. I buy just like giant, I don't even know what you would call them, like fabric, cotton fabric, and then I just like rip them into little pieces like this and use them as like rags, you know, to wash the counter, to wash the floor. And then yeah, I just soak them for about a day. They get pretty clean, I guess. The build finally started to get a little easier. It felt good to finally be moving forward. The next step was to plan for the actual framing. I printed out a little picture of an example wall to reference. I bought some secondhand windows and measured the rough openings so I could calculate the correct size header I would need. Building the window and door headers was actually pretty easy. I basically just cut 2 pieces of wood the same length and then a piece of plywood that was a tiny bit smaller. I sandwiched them all together and nailed them so they were tight. Foundation finally done. Holy smokes, that was a huge job, and I'm already sort of burnt out on this project and haven't even started framing yet. That's okay. I figured out the solution for the insulation on the floor. I was a little bit nervous about it just being open to the ground. So what I ended up doing is running 1/4-inch mesh wire underneath the joists, and then that'll keep the insulation from like just being open to the environment. Doing insulation is seriously one of my least favorite things ever. It's just so annoying. Okay. So I finished the insulation, and now what I'm doing is I'm putting a vapor barrier down before I put the plywood down, just to keep the condensation out from rotting the wood on the inside of the house. Stop blowing away. Stay put, you dummy. I was honestly feeling a little discouraged when this floor took so long to build, and I was like, oh no, and I still have all the rest to do. But now that I'm putting the plywood on, feeling really excited. Beetroot falafels taste pretty similar to normal.
I haven't tried it yet. Hold on.
Oh.
It's good. Maybe even better. It's like more moist.
It does make it more moist.
It isn't, yeah.
So dry.
Yeah, it's not as dry. I think I like them better. But the same taste. Basically.
The greens that come from the beets, very tasty when you just steam them with water. Surprisingly, like...
buttery. Really.
Apparently there is a meteor shower tonight, and I am so excited to look at the stars. Wow, I've just been waiting here. It's finally dark. It's like 12 p.m. Where are you, meteors? Oh, it's so nice out here tonight, though. You can hear the crickets. Love.
Someday in the country, someday on my own. Till there's colors, great indigo. We'll know how much it takes. Step on the reading.
Every morning when I wake up, I'll look at the top of the mountain and it'll be like illuminated red from the sun. So this morning, woke up early, trying to get to the top of the hill to watch that sunrise over the mountains. I've been wanting to do this for like a week now, but just been so tired from this build project that I haven't made it up here. So today is the day. So quiet up here this morning and just really enjoying this moment. Oh, there's been moments this summer when it's gotten very hot that I found myself dreaming about colder weather and the snow. But then I think back to this winter and I remember so much of this winter, all I dreamed about was this moment right now, feeling the sun and the warmth on my skin and just feeling free. I think it's just really important to simply appreciate the moment and what you have right now. We tend to think that our life will be somehow better or more interesting or we'll be happier sometime in the future if we have this thing or get to this point in our life. But I really do think that nature teaches us the most important lesson of like just simply being present and happy with what's happening right now. These cats have actually brought like so much joy into my life. Just watching them play around is just endlessly fun. They also like follow me everywhere. It's really funny. The problem is it's so dusty here. The cats have been getting really dirty. We tried giving them a bath.
I'm sorry, baby.
It kind of worked. It worked for a second, but then they just rolled around the dirt again right afterwards, so...
Running away from us. It's probably cold. Here, put this on as a blanket. Come back here.
They even have been watching movies with us, which is just the funniest thing. We put on that one cat movie, old movie. Can't remember the name right now, but they watched it with us. It was really cute.
See you around, Tiger.
It doesn't rain much here, so sometimes it can feel like I'm going crazy because every day in the summer is just full sunny and hot, which is really nice, but it's a lot sometimes. Anyways, this morning I am on a hunt. I am on a hunt to find a book that could be anywhere. I'll order used books and wait for them to come for weeks. And then for some reason the delivery person will just leave them kind of like somewhere around and I have to like go searching for it. So we'll see if we can find it this morning. I really want to. Oh wow, the moon's still out. That's really lovely. Gosh, it's so beautiful right now. Found it, just over there in the bushes. I loved reading as a kid, but I kind of stopped for a long time, like when I was in college and stuff. I think probably because in those moments where you just kind of want to relax, it's so easy to just distract yourself with technology, just like go on your phone, or like there's just infinite amount of content out there, you know? And then when I moved out here and there's no phone service in this valley, it really just forced me to get creative with the things that I do when I'm just trying to like relax, you know? So reading has been like a big thing. I read so many books this winter and I just love it so much. Woo!